everyone's gender is different. There are infinitely many genders because no one experiences their gender in the exact same way.
Everyone remembers my Riley Dennis video, one of the most iconic SJWs on this platform. Well, I'd like you to meet someone similar, and her name is Marina ShutUp. I think she ironically called herself that for anti-SJWs to have a pole to hang on to when calling her out. So naturally she shares a lot of the things Riley agrees with and speaks out loudly about gender identity. That coupled with how she feels about centrists.
Bigots use centrism as a mask for intolerance and bigotry. Is it just me, or is that a current trend? Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think I have a lot of problems with centrists because there's this idea that, like, the correct answer is somewhere in the middle, which I don't think is necessarily true. There's this idea that, like, both sides are of equal value, and, like, finding something that, like, compromises the two is the best way to, like, view the world and solve problems. But, like, it's hard when the other side is neo-Nazis and white supremacists and bigots. Like, it's hard. I don't really want to, what's the word? I don't really want to, like, compromise my beliefs so that I'm giving that more leeway. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like centrism kind of, like, it's like, I want to be friends with everyone, and, like, every opinion is, like, valid and important. So I'm like, I don't think thinking that, like, gay people are going to hell is valid and important. I don't think thinking that, like, Black people are, like, criminals is valid and important. So I'm not going to compromise on, like, certain things like that.
Makes me want to critique her, which will be my first video criticizing the whole non-binary thing. And joining me is a good YouTube pal by the name of Sir Dankistan. He's an awesome YouTuber who is also an anti-SJW but also loves video games, and who doesn't love those two things. So go check him out. I left a link to his channel in the description below.
Hello lads and ladettes. I have been invited by Western Centrist Rants to accompany him in this video. Now, I don't think I'll accomplish much. He's pretty good as it is, but let's try it.
One question I see asked a lot is non-binary a thing?
No, it isn't.
Oof.
I've been seeing a lot of, like, debates by usually cisgender people about whether or not non-binary people are real and valid, and
I don't like this fucking shit. Like, I hate being labeled. I didn't even understand what a fucking cisgendered person was until I got into this fucking line of work, I guess you could say, of fucking debating people like you. It turns out cisgender is me. But why do you need to label me? Can't you just call me an average fucking red-blooded Australian? It's not that hard.
And I just have a question. Why are you so interested in something that doesn't affect you?
By that logic, global starvation doesn't affect me. I mean, have you seen me? I'm a fat fuck. But it still concerns me. Because, hey, people are starving. Your argument is a slippery slope. You do not understand. Fuck. I didn't have a script for this.
But it's not just that. I mean, Marina's wrong. People have made it so that it does affect us. We are being called discriminatory because we don't want to date these people. I think you know the best example, and it's worth noting that Marina actually defended Riley's position. These people are arguing about which washroom to use. They are making scenes at an official office because their driver's license says either male or female. Most importantly, they are yelling out crap that is just not true and want society to implement it. They is a pronoun for multiple people, not one person. And what's worse is that they want to teach children this. I can clearly say that this does affect us.
Why? First off, why are you debating other people's identity instead of, like, I don't know, talking to them?
Because majority of the time, when you try and talk to these people, they call you sexist, transphobic, racist, bigoted, all these other buzzwords. And that's me when I'm on being nice that day, just asking. So, if it continuously happens, like, maybe it ain't just me, maybe it's also the people I'm talking to, I don't know. It just seems to be a trend.
Listening to their perspectives, trying to understand where they're coming from, but instead I keep seeing people who are not non-binary arguing that being non-binary isn't a real thing.
So, you have to be non-binary to argue a certain point. That's like saying you can't argue against abortion because you're not a woman, which is a completely different subject, but the same slippery slope, it has occurred. You can be someone on the outside looking inside and make a critique on that. I'm not religious, yet I critique religious people. I don't need to be religious in order to do so.
And I'm just like, why are you so obsessed with policing other people's gender?
The real question is, why are you people obsessed with policing my words? Coming from a country where freedom of speech isn't a fucking thing, you do not know how easy you fucking have it, and you should appreciate freedom of speech. A person should be free to speak their mind.
I wonder if people like this studied abroad in some of the universities. I wonder if they'll still be complaining when they come back.
And a person is allowed to debate them. That is the beauty of freedom of speech.
It doesn't hurt you, it doesn't affect your everyday life, and I trust that people know themselves better than you do.
Then I identify as a yellow cactus, and my preferred pronoun is L cacti.
That's not always the case, though. I thought I knew who I was when I was a fucking teenager. Turns out I didn't. It takes a lot more. This is why therapists exist. You may think you know yourself, you may think you know all your problems, but you don't. You need an outside perspective. You need someone who knows what the fuck they're talking about to tell you, hey, this is wrong with you, or this is what you got, or all that shit.
Why do you care so much about disproving an aspect of someone's identity? Who fucking cares? It's none of your business. And I don't...
Oh, that's such a weak argument point. Who fucking cares? It's none of your business. It's none of your fucking business how I speak or what I think. It's none of your fucking business. See, I can just turn the fucking argument back around. Dumb cunt.
I mean to say that you shouldn't care about people's gender and you shouldn't respect their gender, because you absolutely should. And to a lot of people, figuring out their gender identity is a really long and difficult process. So I totally get it.
You mean like how trying to look in on oneself and discovering who they really are is a long and arduous process? You know what doesn't help? When people start labeling you. I literally went into the store the other day and a woman was thinking of giving her 10-year-old child hormones for a sex change. And it's because the fucking schools have taught, hey, maybe you're trans. Yeah, but have you thought of the fact that maybe you're not, and you're just influencing people who need something in their life, and it just happens to be that you're providing that answer? Fucking...
But also, Marina has the wrong idea. People discover their personality, not their gender. There are boys who like pink, but that doesn't change the fact that they're boys. There are only two genders. How you feel or who you are is a different story.
Why gender would be important to people. This is not completely comparable, but as a bisexual person who spent over 10 years trying to figure out my orientation and put a lot of thought into it, I will get people who watch one of my videos and literally think about bisexuality for 2 seconds, and they'll be like, I don't think she's really bisexual.
Okay, as a bisexual male, I don't give a shit if people think that about me, because it doesn't affect me. People are allowed to have their beliefs. It doesn't change reality. If what you are saying is true, then you should have no problem with me or anyone else critiquing what you are preaching. Because if it's true, our words won't fucking matter, will they?
How about you can't have an opinion on my own sexuality until you've thought about it for as long as I have? Why don't you talk to me in 10 plus years?
Sorry, no, that doesn't work like that. That's like saying, hey, you can't judge my personality, you can't judge me being a piece of shit. Live the life I have. You can't judge me. I may steal money from people, or I may even rape people, but you can't judge me because you haven't lived my life. Fuck off.
Something about the way that non-binary and trans conversations are framed in certain spheres of YouTube and on Twitter, and just general conversations I've seen, it really reminds me of 2008 when Prop 8 was a thing and it passed, and conservative...
Alright, I had to actually Google that because, I'm not American, but it turns out it was about, same-sex marriage being illegal in California or something like that, which I don't fucking agree on. But here's the thing, there's a fucking difference. There's a fucking difference. That was an actual action against people. My words are not banning you from thinking what you want to think. Live your life however you want, but I'm still going to comment. Yeah.
Commentators on Fox News and the internet and all over the place were having these debates about whether or not being gay was a sin. That was the way that discourse was framed. There was no room for nuance. There was no room to talk about the many LGBTQ issues. It was literally just framed as, is being gay a real valid thing, or are gay people just choosing to be degenerates? Which really sucks when you can't have a conversation about anything without even, people agreeing that the topic you're discussing is real.
But you can't just have an argument with someone you fucking agree with all the time. I've had fucking like I said, I've had arguments with people who are religious. They're not bad ones, but still argument or debates. This is the exact same thing. I don't believe God is real. They do. I've taken that extra step past you. Way past you.
So if you're someone who in 2017 is debating about the existence of non-binary people, you definitely remind me of 2008 conservatives who were arguing about whether or not being gay was a sin.
I'm actually scared for the future. You have people right now also debating about how child love, bestiality, and incest should be accepted. They're using the same arguments as the LGBT community. Don't judge. If people are actually stupid, we're going to see these actions become legal in 50 years. Pretty soon we're going to have people advocating for necrophilia.
Well, 2018 here right now, honey, and I don't think non-binary is a thing. We're not fucking shrimp. We're not sea sponges. We're not any of that bullshit where there are multiple genders. There is a male and a female. And I ain't a fucking conservative. I'm actually fucking center-left. Nice try, though.
Anyway, I am not non-binary, and I am in no way an authority, and I hope that I'm not speaking over people, and if I am, please call me out. I love a good call-out of myself.
Then this video is perfect for you.
Yeah, but if I'm actually critiquing you, but you don't agree on it, are you going to like getting called out for it? See, I'm not sure. People like you are not those kind of people.
I really do have qualms because I think my voice should not matter in this conversation because I'm not non-binary.
Oh, I fucking hate the self-hatred of fucking people like this. They think, oh, I'm white, or I'm fucking male, or this or that. Therefore, I can't have an opinion.
And what's ironic is that they're making these videos where they give their opinions.
On the topic, I cannot talk about it. It just reeks of self-hatred and loathing. And this is coming from a person who fucking hates themselves. What the fuck is wrong with you? It doesn't matter what race, what sexuality, what fucking gender, all that. You wanted equality. This is what equality fucking looks like. I get to have an opinion no matter what I look like, no matter who I fuck, no matter my fucking political affiliation.
But I have a platform, and I think it's important to uplift other creators. Because I don't think people are listening to first-hand information enough. And I'm seeing too many people outside of, like, the non-binary community arguing about their existences. And it's like, how about you just let people live their lives and not argue about their existence?
Oh, we going back to this fucking point. I'm done with this bitch. Anyway, I would like to thank Western Centrist Rants so much for giving me an opportunity to be on his channel. I've been watching for quite a while now, and I enjoyed it. We don't agree on everything, but I think he's a good guy. So, back to him.
Thanks a lot, Sir Dankistan, and I watched the rest of the video. Don't worry, you didn't miss a lot. It's just her being repetitive about this topic. So in conclusion, I want to state that people who claim to have a different gender aren't really talking about gender, but how they feel and how they express themselves. I really don't know how they connect to their gender, but guess what? It's the same thing as your sex. Even science proves it, which I left another link in the description. Anyway, I want to thank Sir Dankistan for joining me once again. He's a great YouTuber, and be sure to check him out.
I love you!